Hey girl, hey, welcome back to my channel. It's your girl Misha. Thank you guys for joining me yet again for another review. We are back with a brand new review of Our Kind of People, Season 1, Episode 4, Crabs in a Gold-Plated Barrel. Child, this is a fool. If you are new here, then welcome. I give lighthearted reviews with a little bit of laughter and a little bit of shade and a whole lot of detail. If you are back for a second or third time, then child, welcome back. Listen, I did not review episodes 1 and 2. I picked up on this on episode 3, but I have watched all of the episodes. So, I mean, you can feel free to comment down below if you have something to say that's catching me up to episode 4. All right, y'all, let's get into it if we gonna get into it. So when the episode first opens up, okay, so y'all remember Angela is at the prison, right? So then Prison Bae tells her that Mama Eve was sending him pictures of Nikki every month that he's been in there. So you know the mamas, they'll do something behind your back in a minute, child. You be telling them, I don't want nothing to do with him. Whole time, just come over here when she's asleep. I'll let you see him. No, mama. I said nothing, okay? I don't want him to have nothing to do with the baby. Nothing. But I understand him. I'm just trying to keep him in the loop, child. So he's saying, you know, Angela took his daughter away from him. She said she made the best decision because he ended up in jail. And what do y'all think? Do you think if the other parent is incarcerated, they should be kept from seeing the child? Now, I don't know. I don't know if I would want my child visiting a prison all the time, but I would at least let my child know about their father and say, listen, he's away, okay? And there's things that come with seeing him away. And I don't know if you're capable or mature enough to deal with those things. And I don't want to have to put you in that situation. You know, but I would talk to my kid. I wouldn't just let them think they don't have a daddy, honey, just walking around like a fatherless child. He actually would want to be involved if he could be involved, but he locked up, won't let him out. Shout out to Akon, moving forward. So he starts reciting his prison poem. Child, I was looked around, I said, now I know why the cage bird sings. Life for me ain't been no crystal style. Okay, Langston Hughes. Honey, I was listening to him. I said, okay, so it's the Dr. Seussical, the musical of it all. So he rhyming and whatnot, saying this prison poem because she done got pissed, honey. She's standing up. He's reciting the spoken word of it all. Let me give him a few snaps. Okay, because he's not there for Angela making him feel less than. So she gets back home. She's still wearing her visitor's badge. Honey, I'm surprised no one caught it, but they did, and she took it off just in time, right? So her aunt is telling her, child, down at the farmer's market, the people is talking, okay? And they're saying that you want some of the Franklin's money. She's like, I am here to make my own money. I do not need any of theirs. So her extra friend shows up for the grand opening of Angela's shop. And I was so confused because when did she get a brick and mortar store? Child, these storylines moving along so fast, child, I can't keep up. I'm like, so when did you get okay, child, it's a grand opening. It's a party. It's a party. It's a party. Because, child, I didn't know. Moving forward. I was just so confused because she just made it into the Incubator program. But anywho, honey, she's going to be the MC for the event. In the next scene, Teddy is on the green playing golf, and he's playing with LB, right? So Teddy is going to be an investor in the Boston Tide. I guess that's going to be, you know, a basketball team and whatnot. Child, don't ask me about no sports because I don't know nothing, okay? So he said he's going to remove the shackles of the white owners. Okay. And his grandson co-signs and tells him, you know, they'll never be told to leave their blackness at the door at Louis Franklin Stadium. Okay. So he named the stadium after his brother because he said his brother was an activist and, you know, he stood for the people, honey. So that's the reason why he wanted to name the stadium after his brother. So up rolls Little Man and his friends on their golf cart. And he's like, you know, that Juneteenth display was very stereotypical. A secret baby mama and a bastard love child. Boy, shut up. Sir, go to hell respectfully. Okay, child gone. He said, you know, the people wanted to take a vote to vote you out. So Teddy basically told them that they didn't want this smoke. Okay, big bank take little bank. Now, y'all know I'm giving it the zhuzh that needs to be given. Y'all know he ain't actually say that. But he was just letting them know, child, don't play with me. Okay, this ain't what you want. So Leah calls her dad because he's acting strange, right? So she's like, Dad, what's going on? Is everything good? He's like, I'm fine. But your little outburst got people looking at me crazy in these streets. So he said, I'm looking like the deadbeat and Angela is the bastard child. No, you are a deadbeat, sir. Okay, you basically left her to wonder who her dad was all these years. All that money and you didn't even take care of her financially? I don't want to hear it. Like, at least send money back to take care of the child that your affair created. He said it's not good PR for him, especially because he's trying to build that stadium, right? And he wants Leah to handle it. So then he hangs up in her face, child, because, he don't care nothing about what Leah got to say. And then she goes back out to finish a therapy session. I said, girl, you in a therapy session? Oh, no, ma'am, honey, phones are off limits, okay? Especially when you're trying to get your marriage back on track. So she's in a therapy session with Raymond. And he's telling the therapist that the biggest issue in their marriage is her father because he controls everything. The money, their relationship, how high Leah jumps, when they can spend time together, everything. And he wants him gone. I said, oh, child, not gone. Oh, child, it's getting good. This is what I think. I think he's going to end up leaving Leah because why would you call him in the middle of a therapy session or even take his call when you're in the middle of this session with your fine husband? Honey, y'all know I got to say it, child. Woo, my God, that Morris Chestnut knows. He's a beautiful man. Do y'all hear me? Another thing, too. She's constantly seeking her dad's approval. Like, wouldn't it be something if he fell for Angela? Baby, that would be a scandal to end all scandals. Child, oh, that would be trifling. But, child, it would be good to watch. So then the therapist asks Leah, is that upsetting? She's like, yeah, of course. I don't want my dad going anywhere, maybe a little distance, but I don't want him gone. You're still not getting it, Leah. Your dad is affecting your marriage with your husband. You and your dad gonna end up together, alone. Like, this ain't making no sense, girl. You have to pour into your relationship as well. She's like, it's always just been me and my dad, especially being black in business. So Ray said, well, you're trying to say I don't know about that? So the therapist said, we talk about double consciousness, but Leah has a third as a woman in a male-dominated society. He said, as a mother, that's the other thing that she has to deal with. He said, so what about her being a wife? What about that? Is that consciousness there? What about her being a wife to me? One minute she's complaining about him, the next minute she's right back in his pocket taking orders. She is being spread too thin. I know she wants to please both Raymond and her father. She doesn't want to let her father down. She doesn't want to let Raymond down. But at some point, she's going to have to stand up and be a big girl and not daddy's little girl and let him know, listen, dad, it's just certain things you can't do. I have to make sure that my husband is happy as well. Like, she just got to tell him, honey, just pipe up, girl, speak your speech. She said, our family reputation is in trouble. He said, and so is our marriage. So the therapist said, so y'all are going to take your mask off and you're going to see each other. He said, you're going to take the mask off because y'all want to work on your marriage. You do want to work on your marriage, right? Honey, crickets. Moving forward. So they're having a meeting for the incubator program, right? And y'all already know it's always somebody hating. So she's like, the girl hating. So she's like, the new Miss Franklin is blocking my view. Girl, quit hating, honey. Next time, show up early enough and get yourself a better seat. Girl, shut up. So Ray tells them to introduce themselves, right? Angela gives her introduction to little hating heifer once again. She gonna say, well, it doesn't hurt when you're Teddy's daughter and Leah's sister. Child, Leah don't even acknowledge her. And the only reason why they brought it out is because it was gonna be some foolishness otherwise. Teddy could care less about her. He want her gone the same way that Raymond wants him gone. Honey, it's a cast of disappearing people, okay? So Raymond goes, it doesn't hurt to get into the program with a call from your aunt who happens to be a congresswoman either. Yes, Ray, my favorite television noob. You better read. Baby, he shut up real quick. I know that's right. Thanks for coming. Girl, goodbye. So then Leah comes up with an idea for Angela to use her grand opening to catch up with the others by doing a presentation. Girl, ain't nobody about to do no presentation for you at their grand opening. Leah is really full of herself. Like, I understand that you're jealous because, maybe you feel like Angela's going to come in and get a little bit of daddy's attention, or maybe she's more of a boss than you are. Honey, I'm not sure exactly what you're jealous of, but it's giving very much jealousy, okay? I would have to fight my sister. Siblings, they fight. Honey, I would have to fight her because, girl, leave me alone, girl. Leave me alone. Like, this don't make no sense. In the next scene, Angela shows up at her house and the news outlets were all ready for statements about her becoming a Franklin. So she tells them to come to her grand opening. That's the statement that she would like to make. Saturday night at 8 p.m. Honey, I don't know if she gave a time or not, or a day, but I'm just judging it up. Moving forward, Leah and Tariq are playing tennis. And he's like, so what's up with you and your dad with Angela? From what I've seen, she seems like she's trying to make an honest living and she seems like a good person. Don't you even use the word honest after you set up there and set up those secret surveillance cameras in this lady's place. I do not want to hear anything about honesty from you. Moving forward. He's like, I know how you get when new people enter the circle. Remember how you treated me when your dad took me under his wing? She was like, I was nice to you. He said, no, you were not. You let everybody know I was the family project. She's like, well, I was young and jealous. Honey, still is. Seems like history is definitely repeating itself. And y'all know what I was thinking about? Maybe Lewis is Tariq's dad. He thought maybe the security guard was his, or the bodyguard was his dad, but it's really not. Because, I mean, I understand Teddy being down for the bodyguard, but he seems like he's all for self. So why would you take Tariq under your wing? Like, you didn't want to take care of your own kids, but you're going to take care of somebody else's? Things that make you go, And I'm wondering, we'll get there when we get there, We're going to get into it as we get into it. So she says she doesn't trust Angela and she doesn't know what she's there for. So she just wants to make sure that her agenda is clean. She's like, you sound like you're on her team. And you know, we're all about loyalty. Child. She's like, just keep in mind the family that always had your back. I'm sure there's a motive behind it because these people do nothing just cause. So the fact that they have his back, it tells me that something in the buttermilk ain't clean. The math ain't math. And I said what I said and I ain't changing it. Moving forward. At home, Angela and Nikki, they're talking about how Leah is pressed like a panini, but she has a plan to shut her up by getting the Gray Cities on board, right? Because, you know, once she gets them on board, then Leah will have no choice but to hop on board as well, right? So Nikki is like, are you sure you want to do that with all this press you getting? She's like, yeah, I stay on my grind. Well, honey, we're not talking about the grind of it all. We're talking about how low down and dirty Leah and her people are. Even though you're a Franklin, honey, you're not that type of Franklin. Child, you better listen to your daughter. In the next scene, Tariq is at Angela's house to take out the cameras, honey, as he should. And Angela's acting kind of weird. She's like, you know, I would have told you, but I just didn't know how you were going to take it. Honey, don't feel bad because he got a few secrets of his own. So he starts asking her what she wants from the Franklins. She's like, why does everybody keep asking me that? He said, well, my advice is to you is to don't go poking the bear. She's like, you know what? I get that this is hard for you. So let's just take some space. He said, you can have all the space you need. Baby, not all the space you need. Not y'all going on a break, honey. Okay, Ross and Rachel. Moving forward. The villains are having lunch. Okay, Teddy and Leah. And Teddy is telling Leah that he needs to close the deal tonight before the scandal gets out of control. So she's like, I have to have dinner with Raymond. He's like, but I need you. She was like, well, he needs me. So then he says, look, when I'm gone, it's going to be all yours. Or maybe Angela's. So he starts trying to use control and manipulation to get her to do what he wants her to do. Girl, you better go to dinner with your husband, even though I know she's not. I know she's going to show up wherever Teddy is. But if I were her, I would just have to put my foot down. So she gets a call. There's a Gray Cities meeting that she didn't call. Angela is holding testimonial videos of all the Gray Cities, right, in their hair care journey. So Leah shows up and baits her, and she bites. Leah's like, why are you doing this? I hope you don't think these little mediocre videos are going to be exactly what you need to stand up next to these other people, right? So Angela was just like, look, stop calling what I do mediocre. I didn't graduate from a business school. I didn't do this. I didn't do that. So then she says, I'm here to secure the bag. Leah said, oh, I thought you cared about black hair care. So she's like, you know what? I've got everything I need. So she starts packing up her cell phone, honey, ring light and everything. And once Angela walks away, we see somebody hand Leah a phone with the recording. Child, gots to be more careful. Because let me tell you something. You got to be careful of what you say, especially in the cancel culture. Like even on these YouTube streets, honey, you have to be very vigilant when it comes to what you say through these reviews, honey. The subscribers are canceling you. Girl, you got to be careful. In the next scene, Ray is having a drink with the man he wants a loan from to buy back Dorman. So the guy was like, well, let me get the projected earnings statement. So Ray was like, oh, okay, no problem. Let me get those emailed to me. So he makes a call. Honey, he was like, hello, thanks for calling such and such Inc. Yes, can I get the projection earnings emailed over to me? Baby, that smile went from up to down. Child, so from the look on his face, I'm sure Teddy already got there, child. He is no longer has access to anything Dorman related. So he was like, you know what? I'm going to get those to you as soon as I can. So the guy was like, oh, okay, well, just take your time and whatnot, honey. I'll be here when you're ready. Moving forward. Taylor is doing a video with Nikki. Now, I don't trust that Taylor. I don't trust her. Okay, I don't trust her at all. So Taylor starts flirting. She's like, you know what? You're incredible. You're wonderful. You're about to be the face. You're about to blow up, Shuade. Y'all are getting so much good press. It's like she just hangs on. Like, who are your people? That's what I want to know. Because I feel like she hangs on to people that she sees on the come up. I don't know. It's just something about her. So anywho, she's flirting and whatnot, trying to shoot her shot. And then Lauren walks in. So Nikki is like, hey, cousin. Girl, it's too soon, honey. She does not want to identify as your cousin just yet. So Lauren goes, maybe that'll take some time getting used to. So Taylor's like, she's actually really cool if you just got to know her. And she's not afraid of anything. And she's not ashamed of who she is. So Lauren is like, I'm not ashamed. I was just scared because I've never been in love like this before. I've never knew a love like this before. Shout out to Faith. So she just stopped by to thank Taylor for dropping the charges, right? So she's telling her, look, I want to come out in public. I want everyone to know that we're together. I want to be official. So Taylor said, look, I'm ready to be official, but you have to be nicer to Nikki. Lauren was like, oh my gosh, honey, she just like her mama, even though this fictional child. She was like, okay. So while they're making up, Nikki is looking from the window, disappointed. And I guess she was starting to fall for Taylor, right? Child, Taylor's milkshake is bringing all the girls to the yard. Do y'all hear me? I don't trust Taylor. Like I said, I think she's going to cheat on Lauren with Nikki, and it's going to be one big mess. Honey, the cousins is going to be fighting, and then all of a sudden, Raymond probably started liking Angela. Child, it's going to be an intertwined mess, and I am here for it, honey, especially because it's fictional. Over at dinner, Leah is sitting there, not with her husband, okay, but with her daddy. So this idiot that's sitting across from them is giving a toast about Teddy outperforming them last quarter. And then he goes, who says Black lives don't matter? I would have instantly dismissed myself, but that's just me. Okay. So then he asked about the stadium. He says, you know, before we put pen to paper, the people are talking, and the optics of your infidelity, especially in the face of your wife's condition. Teddy said, hold him up, swallow him up. Honey, my wife's condition has nothing to do with this. Speak your speech and be a man about it. He didn't say speak your speech, but y'all know I like to interject my stuff in there every now and again. So he's like, you know, be a man about it. He said, okay, a bigger concern is him trying to make the stadium more black. Oh, God forbid we actually let our light shine. I mean, God forbid. He said, you're willing to forego millions in sponsorship just to name it after a Black Panther? And what's wrong with that? So then he tells him that his brother is a non-issue and you don't need to worry about that. His brother was actually an activist. He said, I've been transparent through this whole entire process. Then the good old boy tells him that the brands are concerned, so they found a new potential buyer that they're more comfortable with. So then Leah said, you can put millions in their pockets and they still only see the color of your skin. Honey, and that's all they'll ever see. When the talents and the knowledge of our people keeps their pockets lined. They could care less about that. Child, let me get started. Please do not let me get on my soapbox. Child, let me just continue with this review. So he said, I don't care how they see me. I care how I see me. I've dealt with people like Bradley before that want to hold up their whiteness, even if it costs them business deals. And me and mine, we're out. Baby, the way I was triggered watching this, child, I want to cuss everybody out. But child, I can't be trusted. In the next scene, Lauren comes sashaying in with Raymond, sitting at the table like she ain't been gone all night with cold food sitting in front of him, telling him that her dad needed her. He said, you know what? I was thinking about what caused the rift in our marriage, and it was when your dad bailed out Darman. He said, I really hated to have him bail me out because it's my job to do for the family and provide things for you. But I mean, you didn't have no choice. So I mean, you had to do what you had to do. She said, yeah, I really appreciate the honesty. So then he says, you know, speaking of honesty, I'm locked out of the books and now I'm not authorized to even look at the reports. Why is that? She said, maybe an accounting thing. He said, I know your father is behind it and you just proved that you'll always take his side. And will, why would accounting lock him out? Girl, that ain't make no sense. She said, you know, our whole marriage is based on the future of your company. Is that all that matters to you? She said, she just wants to work on their marriage and be partners. He said, look, just make sure you want to be partners with the right one. I want to make sure you're standing beside me. So Leah is stuck between a rock and a hard place. Both men are vying for her attention. But in marriage, honey, you got to stick by your spouse. You leave your father and your mother and you cleave to your spouse. I'm just saying, honey. I mean, I didn't write it. I'm just reciting it. Moving forward. Angela is at home changing the labels because Nikki told her that she's too afraid to be the face. But what I think it is I think it has something to do with her liking Taylor. That's what I think it's about. I think that she doesn't want to be ridiculed and talked about, so she just decided, you know what? Let me just take a back seat. So her friend is scrolling the gram, and her video is now viral with her saying she's trying to get to the money. I be getting to the money. Everybody mad. Oh, shout out to Beyonce. So anywho, so she's like, girl, you know the cancel culture is strong. So now the reporters have the answers to who Angela Vaughn is. And baby, she looked like she had egg on her face. Now you know Angela about to pop up. Okay, once she knew that video was out there, she knew that Leah was behind it. So she goes to Leah's house to confront her about that video. Of course, Leah denied it. Honey, always lying. Last time she lied and said she wasn't on her live, and very much was on the live. And now she's saying she had nothing to do with the video. But where did they get it from, girl? You. Okay. So anywho, she denied it and whatnot. And Angela is like, all I have are my followers and my name. Leah said, your name? My legacy? Angela is like, we can coexist. At some point, you're going to have to stop being mad. Girl, like, get over it. Leah is telling her that her and her mom destroyed their whole entire family. She's like, you've only been here a few weeks and everybody's focusing on everything that's wrong with the Franklins. I'm not mad at you. I'm ashamed of you, and I'm ashamed of what my father did. Is this a show where they choose violence? Because I would have slapped Leah. Like, girl, you're not going to just keep talking crazy. It's like only so much poise and grace that I exude, honey. At some point, I'm going to choose to nuck if you bug. But, as I always tell y'all, honey, that's just me. She constantly makes Angela feel like an ingrate. Your father, the one you worship and idolize, he caused all of this. He caused it all. So you might want to take that animosity and whatnot over to him. In the next scene, it's the night of the grand opening. It's a ghost town in there, child. I guess the video and the cancel culture is in full effect. The video has the entire place empty. So her aunt comes up with a plan. So her friend is asking Nikki to help get Eve's crown back on track. Meanwhile, in prison, Nikki's dad is about to write a letter to Teddy. Now, child, what you got to say? How are you connected to Teddy? And why are you writing him a letter? Child, I can't wait to see that unfold. So a few people finally show up, and she gives a speech, and she's telling the 10 people that were there that if they came for mess and tea, they need to exit stage left. But if they came to celebrate and have a party, then by all means, please stay. So her aunt is like, I feel like you were too nice to Leah. She said, well, you know what? I had to think about it, and it's new for her too. So I guess she was just extending some grace. But honey, I'm with the aunt. Child, you was being a little bit too nice for me. Baby, they were writing you to be a better woman than I would be. Y'all know what I thought of though? Her and Eva, this has nothing to do with the show, but her and Eva really parlayed their time on Top Model into some lasting careers. I was like, these girls really use that platform for something good. That just popped into my mind as I was watching. But anywho, back to our regularly scheduled program. Moving forward. So just then, honey, the drag queens, the dolls enter the room to get the party started. Yes, ma'am. So they are turning the place out. So Nikki steps through and tells them that she's going to be the face of Eve's crown. And that really made her mom feel good. Y'all know Angela was grinning from ear to ear because prior to that, Nikki had told her that she did not want to be the face of Eve's crown. She's like, I really want to be able to uplift people, and I want them to know that this is what this brand is all about. And, she gave her a little speech, and then everyone was having a good time. Baby, the daughters was dancing with the mamas, and it was good to see Cruella DeVille actually smile. I said, not Leah having a good time with her daughter Lauren without judging. Oh, okay, well, honey, let's get into it if we're going to get into it. In the next scene, Teddy and Leah are having a meeting to let that prick know that Darman Foods beat their bid for a concession booth. And he also let him know that he can have the Boston Tide and he's going to start his own team and compete with his. So then they dismissed him. Carry on. I know that's right, child. So when he left, he apologized for threatening her, about Angela being the heir to the throne and whatnot. And so Leah said, why won't you let me in? Like, you have to stop using Raymond's company, stop threatening me with Angela, and tell me what's going on with you because I see it. So he finally breaks down and tells her that he has Parkinson's. He said, so all of this is in an effort not to have his life go out sad, basically. In the next scene, Tariq, aka Lance, he shows up to the party to drop off a bottle, right? But child, what you wearing? When she walked outside to go thank him for this bottle, child, I looked at that wardrobe. I said, wardrobe put him in Aaron clothes, okay? Child, y'all a fool. So she goes out to thank him. And so he tells her, I was just trying to give you your space because that's exactly what you asked me for. He said, everyone thinks bad of you, but I know what it's like to really want something. She said, I know what it's like to really want something too. And I don't want space. She said, but look, I just feel like you're going to get caught up in between all of this. He said, let me decide where I get caught up. Baby, I know that's right. Well, honey, I still don't trust you. Okay, I don't trust you as far as I can throw you. Normally, I love me some Lance Gross, and his characters, they really get into it like I like. But right now, you're working for the ops. So, at this point, it's a stare down. So he goes over and he kisses her and whatnot. Anywho, I still don't trust him, and I got my good eye on him, child. Moving forward, Taylor and Nikki are talking about how incredible Nikki is and comfortable in her own skin, and then she leans in to kiss Taylor. Child, I knew it. And honey, it's about to be a mess. In the next scene, Leah is at home waiting for Raymond, running a bath and whatnot. Honey, this lady has some beautiful skin. When I looked at all that melanin, I said, yes, ma'am, honey. Oh, I love this cast. These are some gorgeous people. So anywho, he tells her, he said, look, I'm in New York for a meeting. So she's like, I guess I'll see you at boop. Child, she hung that phone right on up. Do y'all hear me? Baby, he is over. Leah, until you put that man first, you will forever be getting the dial tone because he is fed up. So out emerges a woman, and he's asking her to get him some dirt on Teddy. Now I'm trying to figure out what other dirt could it possibly be. Honey, I bet it's got something to do with Tariq. I told y'all. It's either got something to do with Tariq or it's got something to do with Taylor. Honey, it's got something to do with somebody, and I cannot wait until it comes out. So she's like, I'll do this for you, but given our past, why me? He said, this isn't about our past. She said, but I'm your ex-wife. And I say, what now? Oh, child. He said, you're one of the only people that I trust outside of my family. She said, so how Leah gonna feel about this? He said, Leah doesn't need to know. Just get me the dirt, because when the time is right, I'm going to destroy Teddy. Well, honey, he brought it on himself, and that was the end of the episode. He brought this on himself, okay? He and Leah treat Raymond like an outsider to his own business. So, baby, at this point, all bets are off. He had no choice but to get Teddy to bail Darman out. Okay, but now that the debt is almost repaid, he still doesn't want to give him access to it, and that's not fair. And then he got a wife that is riding for her daddy, so she's not going to tell you anything. So now you're just locked out of all things your own business, and you don't think somebody going to try to get rid of you or take you down? Baby, you are sadly mistaken, and honey, I cannot wait till next week. Y'all comment down below and tell me exactly what you thought about this episode. Please don't hesitate to like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. Come back next week. We are going to do it again, and as always, stay safe, stay blessed, spread love, not germs. Peace.